Hello everyone. In the last class, I discussed a Fourier integral representation of a function f of x. Today, I am going to discuss the Fourier cosine integral representation and Fourier sine integral representation. Welcome you all. Look at Fourier cosine integral representation. See, we have Fourier integral representation f of x is equal to integral 0 to infinity a omega cos omega x plus b omega sin omega x into d omega. Okay, and we consider f of x as a function which is defined on the interval from minus infinity to infinity. Now let us examine, let us consider what is happening when f of x is an even function. We are considering the case when f of x is an even function. What do you mean by when a function is said to be an even function? We know the definition of even function. F of minus x will be f of x. This is the definition of even function. So, such a function f of x we are considering here. When f of x is even, the whole big expression, big equation reduces to, see the small expression, f of x is equal to integral 0 to infinity a omega cos omega x d omega, where what about b omega? What happened to b omega? B omega becomes 0. So how b omega reduces to 0? By the definition of b omega is equal to 1 by pi integral minus infinity to infinity f of t into sin omega t dt. See, this we have in the big equation, isn't it? And here we assumed the case when f of x is an even function. So here f of t is even and sin omega t that is an odd function. And we know even into odd function is always odd function, isn't it? And from integral from minus infinity to infinity, an odd function. What is the answer? It is 0, isn't it? And you have learned these types of properties in definite integrals, I think. Okay, therefore, when we are assuming f of x as an even function, your b omega reduces to 0. So what about the big equation? The big integral representation reduces to f of x is equal to integral 0 to infinity a omega cos omega x d omega. Now what about a omega? What is a omega? A omega is equal to 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity f of t cos omega t dt. We know a omega by the actual definition in the big equation, a omega is 1 by pi into integral from minus infinity to infinity f of t into cos omega t dt. And here we assumed f of t as an even function, right? And cos omega t, we know that is also an even function in t. So even into even is always an even function. And integral from minus infinity to infinity, an even function, you can write it as twice integral from 0 to infinity. Okay, so by using that property, 1 by pi becomes 2 by pi. And integral minus infinity to infinity becomes twice 0 to infinity. So therefore, a omega is 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity f of t into cos omega t dt. Okay, so what we have the function f of x? F of x is integral 0 to infinity a omega cos omega x into d omega. And this integral representation is called the Fourier cosine integral representation. This is very easy to remember. You have to learn the big equation, isn't it? And in big equation, if b omega is 0, our integral becomes f of x is equal to integral 0 to infinity a omega into cos omega x dx. This integral contains only cos function, right? It doesn't contain any sine function. Therefore, these types of integral representations are called Fourier cosine integral representation. And keep in mind, in this a omega is not 1 by pi, it is 2 by pi from integral from 0 to infinity f of t cos omega t dt. Okay, this is Fourier cosine integral representation. Now we are considering the case Fourier sine integral representation. For sine integral representation, we are considering f of x as an odd function. Okay, see we have the Fourier big integral representation. F of x is equal to integral 0 to infinity a omega cos omega x plus b omega sin omega x into d omega. You consider the case when f of x is an odd function. We know the definition of an odd function. How will you check whether a function is odd function? You just consider f of minus x is equal to, it is minus of f of x. For checking whether a function is odd function, you consider f of minus x. That will be minus of f of x. Okay. So in such a manner, we are considering an odd function. Then the Bill equation reduces to f of x is equal to integral 0 to infinity d omega sine omega x into d omega. See, look at the big equation, and a omega is absent, isn't it? A omega reduces to 0. We are having only b omega part. And what about a omega in this case? A omega becomes 0. How? We know a omega is equal to 1 by pi integral from minus infinity to infinity f of t into cos omega t dt. Okay, f of t, we assumed f of t as an odd function and cos is an even function in t, isn't it? So odd function into even function is always odd function. Keep in mind, odd into even is always odd. Okay, and integral from minus infinity to infinity, odd function is always 0. We have a property in the definite integral, right? Okay, therefore a omega, in this case a omega vanishes. Okay, a omega is equal to 0. That is why we have only b omega part. Okay, and here b omega is given by 2 by pi integral from 0 to infinity f of t into sine omega t dt. How? 2 by pi into integral 0 to infinity f of t into sine omega t dt. How? 1 by pi becomes 2 by pi. We have b omega as 1 by pi integral minus infinity to infinity f of t into sine omega t dt. That 1 by pi becomes 2 by pi. How? F of t is odd and sine function is odd. Odd into odd is an even function. Therefore, our 1 by pi becomes 2 by pi. Okay. So, finally, what we have? F of x is equal to integral 0 to infinity b omega sine omega x d omega, where d omega is 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity f of t into sine omega t dt. And this integral representation is called the Fourier sine integral representation. And you can remember this, you just see the integral, it contains only sine. Okay, sine integral representation contains only sine, cosine integral representation contains only cos. Okay, so cosine sine integral representation. Now we are moving on to the problems. Look at the first question. Derive Fourier cosine and sine integral of f of x is equal to e raised to minus kx for x greater than 0, k greater than 0. You are given a function f of x as f of x is equal to e raised to minus kx, and this function is defined on the interval. See the interval, x is positive, x is greater than 0. What do you mean by x is greater than 0? 0 to infinity. This function here actually it is not given in the entire interval from minus infinity to infinity. It is given in one half, isn't it? Half interval only, 0 to infinity. Whenever a function is given in a half interval, it can be represented as a Fourier sine integral and Fourier cosine integral. Okay. If you are given integral from one function from the whole interval from minus infinity to infinity, then only one type of integral representation exists, either Fourier cosine or Fourier sine integral. Okay, based on whether the function is even or odd. But in this case, since the function is given on a half interval, both the integral representations exist. That is why you are given such a question. Okay, now let us examine what is a Fourier cosine integral representation. In Fourier cosine integral representation, we have a omega, isn't it? So first we are calculating a omega. A omega, by the definition, it is 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity f of t into cos omega t dt. F of t, you have to substitute f of t. What is f of t? You are given f of x as e raised to minus kx. You change x to t. Okay, so e raised to minus kt cos omega t dt. Now, see these types of integrals, integral from 0 to infinity e raised to ax into cos bx. See, I discussed these types of integrals, evaluation of these types of integrals in my previous video, easy integration method. You just go through the previous video. There I taught you one simple equation. Okay, so just substitute those values of a and b in the in that expression. Okay, so this is the integrated form, e raised to minus kt by k square plus omega square into minus k cos omega t plus omega sin omega t with the limit 0 to infinity. So in the equation you just put the value of a and b and substitute limits. And first upper limit when you are putting infinity, here we have a term e raised to minus kt. So when you are putting t is equal to infinity, it takes the form e raised to minus infinity, right? And we know e raised to minus infinity is always 0. So on putting upper limit, we have completely 0 minus the lower limit. For lower limit, t is equal to 0. So e raised to 0, that is 1. So 1 by k square plus omega square, and cos 0 is 1, sin 0 is 0. Therefore, we have minus k plus 0. In total, what we have? It is 2 by pi into k by k square plus omega square. This is the value of a omega. Therefore, f of x is equal to the Fourier cosine integral representation. F of x is equal to integral 0 to infinity 2 by pi k by k square plus omega square into cos omega x into d omega. 2k by pi, since it is a constant, it can be taken outside. So 2k by pi integral 0 to infinity cos omega x divided by k square plus omega square into d omega. This is the Fourier cosine integral representation of the given question. F of x is equal to a raised to minus kx. Fourier sine integral representation. You are given f of x as e raised to minus kx, x is greater than 0, and this is defined on half interval. Okay. In Fourier sine integral representation, we should calculate b omega. B omega, by the definition, it is 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity f of t into sine omega t dt. F of t, what is the value? F of x is e raised to minus kx, so f of t is e raised to minus kt into sine omega t dt. And this is of the form e raised to at into sine bt. Okay, so I told you earlier, you go through the previous video, okay, and use the shortcut method for integrating these types of function, and this is the integrated value. E raised to minus kt divided by k square plus omega square into minus k sin omega t minus omega cos omega t with the limits 0 to infinity. And when you are substituting the upper limit, same as in the previous case, it becomes a raised to minus infinity and the value will be 0. So 2 by pi into 0 minus. When you are putting lower limit, this is 1 by k square plus omega square into, this part will be sin 0, that is 0, minus cos 0, that is 1. Therefore, we have omega. Minus of minus, it is plus omega. Therefore, d omega is 2 by pi omega divided by k square plus omega square. And then you substitute in the definition of Fourier sine integral representation. F of x is equal to integral 0 to infinity. It is b omega sine omega x into d omega. So when you are substituting b omega, 2 by pi, since it is a constant, can be taken outside. Integral 0 to infinity omega sine omega x divided by k square plus omega square into d omega. And this is the Fourier sine integral representation of the given function. So keep in mind, when the function is defined on the entire interval from minus infinity to infinity, either Fourier cosine or sine integral representation exists. In this question, since you are given only half interval, a function defined on a half interval, both the representation sine and cosine integral representation exist. I hope you all understood this method, what I taught today. Thank you very much.